What if Spain joined the Axis? In our own timeline, Germany and Italy would support the nationalist faction under Francisco Franco during the Spanish Civil War against the Republicans. Due to this lack of help for two Republicans and their disorganization, Franco and his nationalist faction would win the Civil War in 1939. But the Civil War ravaged the nation and Franco sought to stay out of the Second World War, despite of Germany and Italy having had helped him. Franco would then ally with the capitalist West against the communist bloc and rule Spain until his death in 1975. But what if that didn't happen? What if Spain joined the Axis? Originally Spain wanted to join, just after the fall of France in exchange for Gibraltar, French Morocco, and French Cameroon. Germany however refused as they thought they can easily win against Britain, and because they wanted Cameroon for themselves. After the failure of the Blitz, Spanish demands became too enormous for Germany, like a lot of monetary compensation for the Civil War, and Hitler even told Mussolini that he'd rather pull off 4 of his teeth than talk to Franco ever again. For this timeline, let's say Hitler agrees to Franco's first offer and Spain joins the Axis powers in exchange for Morocco and Cameroon. Together with German help, they would then capture British Gibraltar. This might at first glance seem like a major victory, as British ships are now denied entry into the Mediterranean Sea, but once you dig deeper it becomes apparent that it wasn't as significant. Due to Italian forces nearing the Suez and German submarine actions, Britain was already using the Cape for shipping, so not much changed from there. Germany might however use the Canary Islands as naval bases to harass the British, but the effect would be minimal at best. Furthermore, Spain quickly runs out of weapons. It was estimated that Spanish stockpiles would only last for a few months due to the Civil War, and Spain would depend on German and Italian guns. The Spanish army is also weak and outdated, to a point where Italy is seen competent in comparison. Furthermore, they can't even have Cameroon, as the French colonies in Central Africa still revolt for Free France. Not only do they capture Gabon but also Spanish Guinea. With Vichy France having to give colonies to Spain, their legitimacy might crumble as it becomes apparent that they are nothing more than a German vassal, and West Africa might rise up as well. The only use Spain has are its islands and tungsten exports to Germany. Spain probably still sends the Blue Division to fight in the east, with the Eastern Front not changing compared to our own timeline. The real kicker comes in 1943 with Operation Torch, which quickly takes Spanish Morocco and French Algeria. While Germany and Italy are still fighting in Tunisia, Allied forces land in Spain. Spain is, as already said, weak, and also suffers from Maquis guerrilla actions, and so the Allies land in southern Spain. The Spanish state would quickly fall apart, with Franco maybe even losing support amongst his own allies. Germany would likely invade Spain, similar to Italy in our own timeline, which still happens, and establish the Spanish Social Republic under Francisco Franco, which is just a German puppet regime. Germany doesn't just have to defend Italy, but also Spain, which is more dependent, and has a longer front. Furthermore, the Atlantic Wall is extended well into Spain. This results in a weaker Atlantic Wall and weaker Eastern Front, meaning the Allies see more success. D-Day still happens and Operation Dragoon happen and are even more successful, with German lines being thinner. They would expand even quicker and meet up the two fronts before Germany can react properly. This means that all the German forces in Spain and southern France are encircled in what would go down as the largest encirclement in human history, and the Germans have to surrender, with pockets fighting in the mountains. With that, Germany crumbles even faster, and the Battle of Berlin, and thus the end of the war, might happen as early as half a year earlier, or in November 1944. The Allies still push back Japan on all fronts, but here the Soviets invade Manchuria in February or March, and Japan would still have to surrender to the Allies, but before the nukes were dropped. Japan would be split into 4 like Germany, and then be turned into South Japan and North Japan. In Europe, Germany and Italy get the same treatment as in our own timeline, with Germany being split and Italy losing its colonies and Istria. Spain would get a similar treatment to Italy. Spanish Guinea would be given to France, either as part of Gabon or as a separate colony, and the French protectorate of Morocco would get Spanish Morocco. In Spain, democratic elections would be held, and similar to Italy and France, we could expect a socialists losing to the Liberal Republican Union and Diego Martinez Barrio becoming president, and Alvaro de Albornoz becoming prime minister, with communist forces quickly fading away. The two main parties are the Liberal Republican Union and Social Democratic Republican Left. Spain likely remains a republic and doesn't return to the monarchy. Spain is likely a founding member of NATO in 1949, and then maybe even a founding member of the European Union. Not much would change in the Greater Cold War in Europe, or most of the world for that matter. It's possible that Japan might be a war zone like Korea or remain at high tensions like Germany. Either way, South Japan would be more militaristic at the expense of the economy, while the North is much poorer. After the fall of the Soviet bloc, North Japan might either reunify with the North or remain a communist state similar to North Korea, China, Vietnam, and Laos nearby. Spain would be more prosperous in this timeline in large parts, thanks to the Marshall Plan, and would be more democratic. In this timeline, Spain would be just an extra weight for Germany to carry, causing them to lose the war half a year earlier. Japan would have a much grimmer outcome, but Spain is doing much better than in our own timeline. If you liked the episode, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Goodbye.